Hey everyone, and welcome to another video from myself, Ricky Hayes in Debutify. Now, today we're going to go into how to run Facebook ads as a beginner. We're going to talk about custom columns. We're going to talk about pixel, Facebook page, and a number of things to keep it very, very simple as a starting point, right? Facebook ads can be quite daunting to begin with. Once you learn it, the good thing is you pretty much learn TikTok ads, and we'll make a video on TikTok as well. And then I'm also going to make ones on Google ads too. Now there's lots of different areas of Facebook. We're talking about cold ads. Okay, so cold is people that don't know your business. That's what we're focusing on. Then I'm going to be also making videos on remarketing ads as well. So remarketing ads in terms of UGC remarketing works really well, or pardon me, DPA ads, dynamic product ads work really well, or single image ads work really well. Remarketing is when you have a substantial amount of traffic, at least 100 visitors a day, you're getting some conversions, and then you start running remarketing ads. But let's get into it. So the few things you need to have set up is your business manager. I would Google Facebook business manager, create a business manager. You want to set up a pixel. You want to set up a Facebook and Instagram page and your ad account. When you set up your ad account, it'll prompt, all these will prompt you with steps. You give the Facebook page and Instagram page a name and you create them, okay? Because then you can build followers as well as you start running more ads. With the ad account, make sure you choose the time zone that's relevant to you, and a lot of the time, if you're not in the United States, I would strongly recommend using United States time zone. In this example, mine is actually Australian. I just done it as a test. And add in your credit card or PayPal, okay? Obviously for payments. This strategy as a starting point requires at least $10 a day. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making a CBO campaign, basically a manual CBO campaign. You can use Advantage Plus, which works well too. But in dropshipping, I prefer the more manual approach because you just get that more control and certainty. And because dropshipping is a lot about marketing, we want to make sure we get the best result. Advantage Plus would be really well when you're scaling your business and you have a lot of pixel data. You want to train your pixel in the beginning, so you really want a very strong hands-on approach. And with a very limited budget, you want to make sure you're squeezing every penny as much as possible. So let's go into it. Firstly, we're just going to click create. We're going to choose sales because we're after sales or conversions, okay? Basically, that's what we're after. We choose manual sales campaign. You can choose Advantage, but again, we're not going to, especially in the beginning. We want to be very, very diligent with our spending. We want to give it a campaign name. So I'm just going to call it, I always call it the brand name, so Debutify, and I put the product name. So if it's a wireless headset, I'll call it wireless headset. You don't need to worry about special ad categories. That's for housing, politics, very sort of controversial type of topics, but we're not sort of covering that. We're just running standard ads. We don't want Advantage Plus when it comes to catalog ads, and we want the budget. And as I said, I'm going to put it as $10 a day. We don't want to create split tests. I found that split tests, unless you're spending at least $1,000 a day, split tests at the campaign level are not really worth it. We do our split testing at the ad set level and at the creative level, okay? And I'll be going into more strategies in future videos about that. We're going to go next. And now we're going to give the ad set a name. So I usually call it, again, the name of the targeting. So I put US, I put the audience name that I'm targeting. So we're going to focus on, let's say, fashion, just to keep it really simple. Okay, so I'd put audience, and it would be in fashion. What works really well is magazines, famous models, for example, famous actors work really, really well when it comes to targeting. When you scale, I plan to make scaling related videos that you basically can also do no targeting, and it works really, really well. All right. So we don't want messaging apps. It just defaults to that. You want to go website. When you have your pixel integrated with Shopify, so you should have Shopify set up, you have your store set up, you can use something like Debutify or whatever to get that set up. Then you use the Facebook. There's a Facebook free widget on Shopify, and you integrate it with your pixel. So when Shopify gets a conversion, it dynamically passes that data into the pixel so you can see where the conversions come from and the value, which is really important for marketing. You always want to choose purchase, okay? A lot of people try and go view content and stuff. I go straight for purchase. You want the highest quality traffic, okay? Because what you then do is you want to try and scale it up and then you do remarketing, and we're going to go into future videos on remarketing as well. Always start date has to be the next business day, okay? So mine's in ACST. Always put it in the net and never set an end date unless it's a very specific campaign, like let's say Black Friday, Cyber Monday, where it's very specific start and end days that you predefine. Otherwise, just have that. You'll just turn it off here on the on-off switch. Location. Now, on $10 a day, you don't want to target many countries, right? Even just targeting a tiny country, $10 a day is stretching. So you want to really focus on the country that we all know does best, which is United States, biggest audience, most engaged. It's the easiest way we can fulfill our products via dropshipping methods, and sort of keep the ball moving. Long term, you can expand to the other top 5 countries, and Europe does really well, especially now that there's so many dropshipping warehouses around the world too. I've made videos on that, and if you have questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Placements, I leave it as all placements. Now, you can put it as manual placements. I still see a lot of people, mainly the main areas that are always going to market to is the feeds, Facebook news feed and Instagram news feed and Instagram stories. If you're really wanting to narrow down, I recommend narrowing it down to that. But I do find leaving Facebook open, because especially when you're targeting a very saturated market, leaving it a bit open for the placements to try and find people in different areas is a great way to reduce cost per purchase. So that's why I actually go with the Advantage Plus recommendations for that one. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. Okay, you can see that is pretty straightforward here for the most part. We've done our targeting. Now, pardon me. Now, if we go here, we just need to do the last part of our targeting. Now, this is actually how we're going to target them. Excuse me. Now, when it comes to buyers online, 18 to 24, it really sort of depends on a number of variables, okay? But my experience is 18 to 24 doesn't do really well, okay? I actually go 25. And once you get, again, it depends on the product. If you're marketing a product that's more, you can tell is more aimed at an elderly person, it might be something about their back, or an older person, that's when you target an older one. But for a lot of the items in dropshipping that are trending, you really want to aim for 25 to 44. Seems to always be the golden spot. And that's sort of what I recommend there. We don't need custom audiences. I'll go into that into another video. Custom audiences are when you've got data and you're basically, wanting, for a lot of the time, it's a lot of doing lookalike audiences and remarketing. Okay, so people that have viewed your website, people that have viewed a specific product, people that have viewed a specific collection. You can make remarketing audiences using a simple filter criteria, and it connects with the pixel, pulls that data and turns it into an audience, and you can make a custom creative for it. Okay, I'm going to go into that into future videos as well. Okay, so with demographics, and I should also add that I generally, target women more than men. Most of the items in the dropshipping space are more tailored towards women. Again, obviously based on the product, that isn't 100% true. If you're selling a little remote control little car thing, that's probably more a male thing. Women will still buy it, but it's more tailored to men. But a lot of the items, like in this, we're talking fashion, I'm talking women's fashion, I'm going to try and keep it very simple. The top brands on Shopify are usually, I believe the statistics is 80% female focused, okay? Don't entirely quote me on that, but that's what I find, and in dropshipping that's sort of the best way, especially when you're on a limited budget. You want to sort of keep it very strict in that sense. So when it comes to this, I will find, as I said, I start very broad. You don't want to go very narrow. You can see we've got an audience size of over 30 million just by doing this, from over 100 million just by narrowing it down. Like if we go all, you can see 59. Okay, so we've already done some really good narrowing. Really simple. Now we need to do is, as I said, fashion and magazines are really important ones. So like if I put magazine, okay, so you can see if they're too small, then you don't, right? If we're looking at a couple of thousand people, it's not worth it. That's too narrow. You want to aim for a big magazine like this, People magazine. And you can see how now we've got 3 to 5 million people. All right, perfect. That's all you really need to do. That's going to be audience 1. Okay, audience 1, and I put in fashion, and I put in People magazine, 25 to 44 women. Okay, you can actually create templates as you make more of this. Creating a simple template really actually saves you an extra 5-10 minutes a day, which is, it adds up. So then we go next. Next part is we want to call it creative. Now I'm going to go into another video on how to make the creatives. Okay, as I said, for instance, in fashion, as an example, you just show someone wearing the product. If it's remarketing, you'll do sort of a UGC ideally as you get those creatives. There's plenty of UGC creators out there that you can actually use. If you want recommendations, let me know. But basically, that's what I would suggest that you do in fashion. What works really well is authenticity of seeing, let's say a model wearing the dress. Okay, in terms of with dropshipping trending items, obviously you'll want to make a video explaining the product, doing a voiceover. There's plenty of tools. I use Camtasia. It's really good for that. As I said, there's plenty of tools out there. You can use your phone to actually buy the product, make a recording, so you can try and actually explain it and do a voiceover. If you want a video on that, let me know. I definitely recommend doing that. There's, as I said, to do the voiceover, for example, I just use Audacity and you just record yourself. I've just got a nice desktop mic. It's cost me $100. It's phenomenal. And there you go. And you can create your own content and then using your phone to record it and show it in different senses. Try and go outside as well. Look, that's for another video. So we're going to call it Creative 1. Okay. Now I'm not going to do the full strategy. This is just a beginner guide on how to get started with Facebook ads. So as I said, because I don't have anything connected, obviously that's why, but once you have an Instagram account, it'll come up there. Always do that. You want to build your followers. Okay. You want to create ad. You don't want to do this in the beginning when it comes to this because you won't have the data and it's not worth it. You want to go single image or video. Flexible, again, is for when you're scaling. Once you have good pixel data, you can utilize more of the Facebook features, but in the beginning, make sure you do it manually. Okay, so media, you can add a video. I'm just going to add this one, for example. Okay, I've just added that there. All right, now don't use that right now. You want to turn that off and just leave it, as I said, for all placements, it just automatically optimizes it. Okay, so with the primary text, again, because we're focusing on fashion, you want to have primary text headline. Description isn't as important. Call to action is always shop now. Okay, just to be clear, just always start shop now. It's very, very clear, very defined. Your website URL, I'm just going to put it as dogs.com. Always put it straight to your product page. Okay, so once you have your product page set up, your product page set up, then send it there. Your display link, don't worry about that. I find that it's not really needed. You don't really need any of these browser add-ons either, especially in the beginning. Language is not important. Make sure your pixel is ticked. It should be by default. URL parameters is basically UTM tracking for unique parameters if you really want to get very deep. That's, again, way in the future, not relevant right now. So with creatives now, it's changed a lot, right, in terms of how you run ads. Transparency is definitely one of them. So if we're talking a fashion item, okay, in this sense, we're just going to do one primary text and headline. Okay, women's summer fashion product. Always put a capital letter at the start of every word, and you can see that it helps give you AI. So as I said, I recommend doing it manually in the beginning because you really want to learn some of fashion dress now in the look of the town with this gorgeous dress. Now you can use widgets as well, Chrome extensions for various emojis, which I generally recommend you do. Don't add it to every line. Now the reason I put be the look of the town with this gorgeous dress is just simply because that's what people want, right? If you've got to look at it from the eye of the customer, what do they want? If we're looking at fashion, because I'm trying to keep it very simple, what does the ideal customer, 25 to 44-year-old woman in the United States that's into People magazine want? They want to look great in a nice dress, okay? They want to be the look of the town. They want to feel sexy, right? They want to feel attractive, okay? And that's a very important thing, and that's fair enough. So Then you want to add some benefits, right? You don't need to add much more. You can add a bit.ly link in the description. I don't do that anymore. I find people don't really click it. Just literally keep it to shop now. I find keeping it very simple works best, okay? Because dropshipping ads have been there so much right now. You want the product is what sells it, and then you just have a really nice primary text and primary description. The key things you'll want to add is fast shipping times to United States, and I put in brackets like 3 to 5 business days. Okay, now as I said, there's plenty of them out there. This isn't 100% genuine, okay, let's be honest, but as you start scaling the product, you definitely want to buy the product in bulk and get it in a warehouse in United States. As I said, there's plenty of them out there. Just Google it. I've made videos on this as well. I've used ShipBob and I find them to be quite good. Fast shipping times, and then you do want to add your offer. Shop now, limited time only, and everyone puts 50% off. I actually put 40% off, right? Just to be a bit different. 40% off. Don't miss out. Stock is limited. So you still want to add some of those, but you can see how very simple that is. Now, in terms of emojis, all I would like, you can, as I said, sort of you can add them from here. I don't know why that's not doing it today. Being funny buggers, but basically all I'd put here is the little United States flag. I would put the little bag icon here, and I would put like a little exclamation mark. Simple as that. Okay. And with the dress, actually, I would put on the end a little dress. It just grabs people's attention. You can see as well that you can create more primary text as well. In the beginning, it's the copy isn't what really sells as much as it is the creative. So we focus on the creative, and that's what going to be sort of one of future videos. That's why I don't do this in the beginning, especially on a limited budget, because you're running, the strategy should always be that you're running 3 ad sets with 1 creative in each, the same creative, okay? Because you just want to sort of start there. You want to find your target audience. Usually for 3 days, what you want to do is you want to spend a little bit of money, see which one gets the best click-through, any sales or anything, and then you want to narrow it down to 1 creative, 1 ad set, pardon me, and then make 3 creatives. So basically, the strategy is that you're just trying to get some clicks, trying to see what gets to the highest click-through rate. Then, as a step 2, you will make more creatives in the winning ad set. Okay, that's how I do it, because I want to find the best audience, because the audiences are large and engaged, because I know I'm aiming for purchase. I then want to just find what one gets the best clicks, and then I'll make more creatives, because at this point, you know, you've already done a ton of research on the product. You know it's a great product, so it's just about the angle, right? And I usually at least spend $500 on a product before I say no, preferably at least $1,000, to try and adequately say. If you spend $30 on a product, you can't adequately say. It's a very expensive market now, so you have to keep that in mind. So summer is coming, check out our new dresses. Okay, now the reason I put something like that as well is summer is coming, check out our new dresses is sounds, you know, you sounding like a brand. People want to buy from brands, right? You always want to sound like you're a brand, authentic, genuine, and that's very important. Okay, so that's why I sort of do that. The rest is all very straightforward. Next, you just literally will go publish, and boom. Now, usually within a couple of hours, depending on the creative, it'll just be approved, and you just check it. You'll get an email and you get a notification. So that's really it. Now, with the columns, I was sort of saying as well, you can have all these different columns. Okay, the easiest way is you can use one of these preset, or you can customize columns. So I would add unique link clicks, unique CTR, cost per unique link click, view content, add to cart. I always go unique. A lot of people, and you want to go total and total cost, right? I add those just to get a look. Initiate checkout, total, unique, and that, and then purchase. and ROAS. I got myself distracted. So return on ad spend. And I'm going to save it as 2, always save it as a column, because then you can just keep using it, right? So this is the thing, you're just setting it up, and you can customize this however you like, okay? So, for instance, offline purchases isn't really that important. You can remove a number of these, like so CPC I will remove, I just have it here. Meta content views, not really that important in the scheme of things, right? Relevance score is actually quite important now. The higher that is, the actual cheaper it costs per impressions as well. So be sure to check that too. Other than that, I hope this has been quite helpful. I am going to be making more videos on how to integrate your pixel, talking about your pixel and looking at the data on it, pages, DPA ads, remarketing strategies. Let me know what you want in the description, in the comment section down below. Other than that, thank you very much for your time, and I'll see you in the next video.